All right. So this is going to be the first of several videos that I am recording and sharing online in various locations. I've mentioned this to a few people, but um, over the last few months, I've been navigating a lot of stuff about sharing content on Facebook, what's shared, what's not shared, some things that I've noticed that are kind of uncomfortable. And to before I go any further, most of you know that I teach sociology at the community college, and something that I have followed and observed and taught about for about 10 years is social media. Um, Prior to COVID, I started a class called Social Interaction, and about 50% of the class focused exclusively on how people in the modern era interact online, or how they interact not only in person, but how they interact also online, and what they use, what kind of behavior they engage in, the positives of that, the negatives of that. Suffice it to say, we all should understand at least that how we communicate and how we interact with one another has changed a lot, you know, with the advent of a more dynamic and interactive internet and mobile devices. So that's it for another day. Um, I'll actually put a link to a couple of lectures that I've recorded online about this. I'll put a link to it in the comments. Okay. But anyway, I wanted to say that because I like to think that what I have to share is based in some framework of thinking, that it's not just off the cuff opinion. But at the same time, with these particular sets of posts, I'm going to be a little bit more personal. I'm going to try to mix those two together. Okay, so I'm going to be a little bit of both of those. And I'm choosing to do video because I've come to find for me that sharing information online in the form of a Twitter tweet. I used to use Twitter quite a lot. I don't use it very much at all anymore. And even sharing information on Facebook in terms of written text, you can only do so much there. One thing I like about the internet and cloud-based computing and Facebook, and I embrace all that technology. And one thing I like about it is, and a perspective I've had on it for a long time, 15 plus years, is using it as a way to document one's life. And I find a lot of value in being able to record videos, to upload pictures, digital images, and digital text. I found it quite valuable to be able to post that and have access to that. In my sociology classes, I talk about this as a form of digital archaeology. And I'm very mindful of what I've created and what I put online and how that is going to be used by others later on if I choose for it to be used, and I have in some cases. And some of the information I post online is very public, and I have reasons for that. But also for my children and for any further descendants I might have. I'd like for them to be able to go back and watch this video or look at digital text, look at written text. I found using the internet and the cloud-based computing in that way is a very valuable thing. So I'm sort of like writing my biography in real time. So having said that, I like to think that I'm mindful of what I share online. And but at the same time, I'm sometimes kind of embarrassed when I go through the memories on Facebook from things that I've posted a long time ago, and it's like, why am I wasting my time, you know, trying to be cool? And I guess uh, early on in the use of Facebook, I mean, it's people trying to figure out how to use Facebook. I think people still are trying to learn how to use Facebook, and there's still a lot of observations as to the pros and cons of living a life through social media. So that's the introduction, and I'm going to see where this goes. Yeah, I'm just talking to a camera, but for me, this is an easier way of communicating ideas. I've learned that in the last couple of years. It's easier for me to do this than it is to sit down and write a text to post on Facebook. And plus, if you've gotten this far, then you value or you give a damn about something I've got to say, and that's the kind of person I want in my life. Okay, I want that relationship. Most people won't get this far, and this is also why I'm doing these videos, is so I can hopefully establish a better connection with people beyond a superficial, weak relationship through Facebook. So, more to come. I'd be interested in your comments below.